Welcome back to Farming Simulator, and today we're going to have a look at whether some crops need rolling or not. So let's roll the intro and get to work. So this video came about from chatting on my Discord and saying about how when you plant potatoes, it's really annoying that you have to roll them to get rid of the needs rolling message on the screen, given that you plant them in ridges like this. See, ridges. But then you roll them and you get rid of the ridges, which seems kind of silly. So what I've done is I went looking in the XML and noticed that some crops don't specifically say they need rolling. There is a tag in the XML file for the crops, and some of them have needs rolling true and some of them just don't have it. Now I suspect they should have needs rolling false, but what I've done to test this is I have some potatoes, some sugar beets, some sunflowers and some maize, and what I've done is 2 strips of each, and then one of those strips I have rolled and one I have not. Everything else is the same, so they're fully fertilized, and you can see one strip does not need rolling and one strip says it does need rolling. So if you roll because you want to get rid of the needs rolling on the map, this won't help. This is purely to check whether it has an effect on the yield. So basically we are going to run down each of these and get them harvested and see if we see a difference. So I have planted these with a 6-meter planter. We have 6-meter headers on the combines, and then the widest headers I could get for the sugar beets and the potatoes. So we might have to do a couple of trips for those. Yeah, it's just something that I wanted to test, because I don't like rolling some of the crops that plant in nice textures. The difference is probably going to be very small, so it might be quite hard to tell, but we'll see. I am basically looking to see if there is a noticeable difference. Now rolling is only a 1% bonus, I think, so it might not show with the volume of crop that we have, so this might be an inconclusive test. I wanted to test lots of crops, so it's kind of a balance. So 925 versus 940. Okay, so there is a difference there. It's not great. What I also need to do is make sure that I turn off autosave in case I need to go back. So first crop, there is a difference. Let me just make a note of that and we'll get on to the next one. So second crop, and we are into sunflowers, and again we have a 6-meter strip and a 6-meter header, and we'll see if we could spot a difference. I'm kind of surprised that the difference was quite so much on that first little bit. That does suggest to me that rolling matters still, and that I think comes down to them, rather than putting needs rolling equals false, they leave it out of the XML for the crops that probably shouldn't be rolled, and I don't think that has the same effect. I'm not certain of that, but I think it needs to be set to needs rolling equals false, not just ignoring needs rolling. Don't miss any. The combine that I went for couldn't quite run the wide header, and I hadn't left a big enough gap to be able to run the wide header, so yeah, just need to be a little bit careful and make sure that we don't miss any. Yes, I said this came about from just chatting on Discord about disliking rolling potatoes. Because, you know, in the real world, potatoes are planted in ridges. At least they are in this country and a lot of countries. So 527, 535. So again, a noticeable difference. That's 7 litres, maybe not. Right, sugar beets. Higher yielding crop, so we are going to have to do 2 runs along here. Just because the header wasn't 6 metres wide. This may make it more obvious with slightly higher yielding crop as to whether we are seeing a difference or not. And the same with the potatoes. It's obviously going to mess up my nice neat lines. Actually, we could just reverse back, couldn't we? Let's do that. So that we maintain the nice neat lines. So the bonus from rolling is negligible, as I've said, and you could just choose not to do it. Just so you keep the visual effect, and you know, it would be perfectly acceptable. We have missed a bit. The bit that annoys me is the map says it needs rolling, and I don't think there should be. But you know, it's how it's set up. What we could try as an experiment is, future experiment, is setting that needs rolling to false rather than it not being there, and see if that makes a difference. So, 5,927 litres. Let's just make a quick note of that. And let's go on to the next one. It's pretty standard stuff for me, I guess. I mean, testing this kind of thing. If you're new to my channel, then yeah, click the subscribe button, turn on notifications, and you'll see more of this stuff. And if you really like it, you could become a channel member, like those that are scrolling by on the screen. Thank you, channel members. I've forgotten you from the last few videos, I'm afraid, so apologies for that. If you really like my videos, you could join Patreon. There's a link for that below as well. $5,927. Let's see what we get off of here. Pretty close. Pretty close. Yeah. Right into the potatoes. These harvesters are beasts. Get it all unfolded, and going to be another 2-pass job. Might even be 3 passes. I'm just going to turn off crop destruction just in case I drive over any of it. Because this thing is huge. I'm not actually sure we're going to fit 2 of them next to each other, you know. I might have to shuffle it back behind the beet harvesters. So 4,197 litres off of that. Last one. And then we'll do a quick summary of the results and we'll see what we think. So I'm just going to get this harvested and I will be back with you. So a quick bit of excelling later, and definitely makes a difference, but the amount of difference it makes varied, which is kind of weird and might just be the small scale of the experiment. So for the corn we got 3.7% more because we rolled it. Sunflowers and sugar beets were about 1.5% more, which is kind of in line with what I expect for rolling. And then the potatoes was only 0.8% more, so still more, but not a lot more. So I think it's almost down to personal preference with those kind of levels. If you want to keep the nice ridges, don't bother rolling. If you don't care about the ridges and you get a bit triggered by the needs rolling on the map, roll them in. I am going to do another test in the future, looking at what happens if I set that needs rolling to false rather than it being excluded from the file. I think that will make a difference. But yeah, that's it for now. If you found this useful or entertaining or whatever, click the like button. If you didn't like it, click the dislike button. If you've got any questions or suggestions, leave a comment below. And as I said, if you're not ready, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for more testing of stuff like this. Catch you next time.